so no problem. Okay, so first of all we will start. So this is the manual actually I have in PDF form. Okay, this is the manual. So here is the practical. So in experiment number 9 you will see to study the single phase bridge inverter by using IGBT or MOSFET. You can construct the circuit using PWM technique. Okay, so guys, in hardware kit, basically in power electronics lab there is a hardware kit. You will see this is the hardware lab hardware kit. Okay, this is shown over here. These are the modules. Okay, so but we will simulate this experiment in PSIM. So what is the theory? Circuit diagram. So we will study apparatus required, high voltage power electronics test bench, resistive load is required, inductive load, multimeter, okay, DSO, and connecting patch cords are required. So basically what is the theory part? So power electronics is the technology associated with efficient conversion, control and conditioning of electrical power by static means from its available input to the desired electrical output form. So an inverter is a circuit which converts DC power into AC power at desired output voltage and frequency. So this conversion can be achieved either by controlled turn on and turn off. So you can choose either MOSFET or IGBT. So guys, you can see basically the full bridge inverter is actually a topology of H bridge inverter. We will see the circuit diagram. See here, there is a voltage source, DC voltage input. So basically this is inverter and it will convert DC voltage into AC voltage or DC power into AC power. You will see. So input is DC of 220 volt. You can see at the left side. Then there are two legs. You see. So in each leg there are consisting two thyristor or two IGBT or two MOSFETs. So this circuit you can, so basically, and in between these two legs the load is connected. Okay, you can see this is the load. So we have preferred resistive load first. Okay, you can simulate this. This is resistive inductive load given over here. So we are preferring the resistive load. Okay, so these are the thyristors or the main switches. Okay, S1, you can see S1, S2, S3, S4. So 4 main switches are there, and also there is diode. Okay, there are diodes connected anti-parallel with each main switch. You can see in the diagram. So if you can see the screen, you see this is the PSIM simulation circuit I have prepared for you. So these are the G1. I have named it IGBT1, IGBT2, IGBT3, IGBT4. Okay, you can see here. So these are the main switches I have selected here, and in there are two legs, you can see, and then this is the first leg. So in the first leg IGBT1 and IGBT4 are connected. Okay, you see, and then in the second leg you see there are another two main switches are connected, IGBT3 and IGBT2. Okay, and then in between these two legs you see this is the resistive load of 50 ohm. You can also change the value of this resistance, okay, by double clicking on it. You can also change the input voltage DC supply by double clicking on it. Currently it is 12 volt. Then you can connect voltage probe. This is the voltage probe, and here there is also this is the voltage probe connected across resistive load. And then we have connected 4 gating pulses, okay, gating blocks. So see here in PSIM software you will see this is the block of gating signal. Okay, so this provides gating signal to the gate of each thyristor or IGBT or MOSFET. Okay, so basically what is the theory? So this was the theory. DC power will be converted into AC power, and these are the components required. So this is called full bridge inverter or H bridge inverter, and these are 4 diodes actually. You will see these are 4 diodes. Okay, so these are called freewheeling diodes or feedback diodes. So basically these diodes will be required when there will be inductive load connected here. Okay, in case of purely resistive load, it is not needed. These are not needed. Diodes are not needed. But when you take resistive inductive load, then there will be negative. There will be a problem. Okay, there will be a negative voltage. There will be due to inductance. Okay, so in order to feed back the stored energy in the load back into the DC source, the feedback action happens only when load is other than purely resistive load. So that is why you require these 4 diodes in anti-parallel with these IGBT switches. Okay, so basically here we have selected this purely resistive load. Okay, so you can also choose IGBT, MOSFET, thyristor. These are the controlled switches. Okay, so basically general concept of a full bridge inverter is to alternate the polarity of voltage across the load. So you will see how the output waveform is obtained from a DC supply voltage. You can see, and then if I can play this, okay, let's see. This was the circuit diagram, and this will be your waveform. See here. Okay, so these are the waveform. Okay, these are the waveform. See here, this is voltage square wave we will get at output. Okay, so basically what happens, we will discuss the working principle. So T1 T2, okay, S1 here, S1 and S4 in my diagram, T1 and T2, okay, IGBT1 in the upper leg and IGBT2 in this lower second leg will operate simultaneously from 0 to 180 degree cycle. Okay, see, so conducting period is 0 from 0 degree 180 degree. You can also change the conduction angle by double clicking on this gating signal. Okay, this is, we can see, so this will be your square wave output. You can see this is square wave output. And what is the procedure? You can see this is the procedure. Make the connection as per circuit diagram. Okay, then this is the actually gating block signal, gating signal provider. Okay, square wave generator. So this is the hardware kit available in the lab. You will see this is called PWM, firing control circuit for inverter circuit. So here these are the switches, these are the section S1 from S1 G1. Okay, these are so, and this is the gate terminal of this thyristor or IGBT. See here, this is emitter, this is collector, and this is gate. Okay, so here you can you can select 4 modules out of 6. Okay, so see here, this is IGBT assembly module in the hardware. It is given over here in the lab. Then you have to select only 4 because this is H bridge inverter or full bridge inverter. So connect as per the diagram. See here, the second point, connect the G1 and S1. Okay, so this is G1 and S1, G2 S2, G3 S3, and G4 S4 terminal of driver circuit, control circuit to the IGBT power point. Then vary the frequency in steps of driver circuit. Then obtain the output AC voltage waveform across incandescent lamp load by using DSO. You can see then output waveform, calculate the frequency and take the voltmeter ammeter reading across the load. Okay, so basically physical lab is not present. Okay, we cannot perform, so we can go to our simulation. So this is our simulation, you can see. And then what will happen? So now see the conduction angle. Okay, what is the conduction angle and what is the working principle of this single phase full bridge inverter? Okay, so see here, from here then I describe new video tutorial session of power electronics, this circuit diagram, and here you can see these. So this is the output waveform you are seeing at the right side. Okay, by going to the simulation section, okay, you can choose simulation and then choose the waveform, so it will appear. Okay, so this is the zero axis. See here, this is zero axis, and then a positive wave is there of a square wave, and then a negative wave of a square wave is there. So in one cycle you will see this is the combination of positive square wave and negative square wave. So square wave you will get at the output. Okay, then see, these are the output wave. I am explaining the working principle and how it works. So let's start. So basically single phase full bridge inverter is a voltage source inverter, you know, and this inverter does not require 3-wire DC input supply. As you can see over here, this is the DC input supply we have. I have connected here, and this source, the requirement of this source is 2-wire, okay, 2-wire supply, 2-wire DC input power source, and the output frequency can be controlled by controlling the turn off and turn on time of thyristor. So what I have connected now, basically we will talk about the circuit diagram of single phase full bridge inverter. So basically the power circuit of single phase full bridge inverter comprises of 4 thyristors. So here I have selected 4 IGBTs. As you can see over here, this is the first IGBT, this is the IGBT to the getting signal of it. So this is G1, okay, as you can see here, this is G1. Now you are seeing on your screen. So this is by double clicking on it, okay, on each getting block, just double click on it and you will see this is the wizard will appear, okay, on the screen, and you can rename it. So I have named it G1. Frequency we will select 50 Hertz, okay, and then number of points, these are constants 2, and then switching points. So this is the conduction angle where you have to put the conduction angle. So see, 0 to 180 degrees. So basically this IGBT1 will conduct during this period from 0 to 180 degree, okay, and then see, it is written on here, you can see this is again 0 to 180 degree for IGBT2. See here the conduction period for IGBT2, it is written on here from 0 to 180 degree. So a pair of IGBT 1 and 2 will conduct simultaneously during positive slope, okay, during positive wave, and during the other half from 180 degree to up to 360 degree, IGBT 3 and 4 will conduct. Okay, see, this is G2. I'll explain later the firing angle, what I have chosen the firing angle for these thyristors or IGBTs. This one is G4, getting block G4, and this one is G2, getting block G2. So basically what happens, there are 4 thyristors and 4 diodes. These are, this one is the D1. You can display this by checkbox, okay. So this is D1 and this is D3. You can rename it, and this is D4 and this is D2, diode number 2nd. So basically 4 diodes are there, and 2-wire DC input power source is VDC. So each diode is connected in anti-parallel. As you can see, each diode D1, D2, D3 and D4 are connected in anti-parallel to the thyristors or to the IGBTs, and basically the power circuit diagram of single phase full bridge inverter is I have presented over here, and I have taken at the output resistive load. This is the pure resistive load. As you can see here, resistance I have taken 50 ohm resistance, and then voltage probe is there for measurement of output voltage. And basically it may be noted that the circuitry for turning on and turning off the thyristor is basically the gating blocks And what are the angles? Basically, each of the thyristor only conducts for the period its gate signal is present. So I have fixed the conducting angle from here, as you can see over here. So basically what happens in the first cycle, or from 0 to 180 degree, as you can see here, from 0 degree to 180 degree, the conduction angle is here. I have put here the value here in this box, switching points 0 to 180 degree for this thyristor IGBT1, and also because T1 and T2 conducts at the same time. So for IGBT2, the same firing angle or conduction angle I have put here from 0 to 180 degree, as you can see here. And for IGBT third and IGBT fourth, as you can see from this diagram, this gating block. So you can see here clearly. So IGBT3 and IGBT4 will conduct simultaneously during this conduction period from 180 degree up to 360 degree. So basically what happens, okay, these thyristors or IGBT 1 and 2 will conduct during 0 to 180 degree period, and then automatically it will get turned off, and then okay, and then from 180 degree up to 360 degree, these pair of IGBTs 3 and 4 will conduct, and then after conduction period, okay, when it is finished, then automatically these will be turned off. Then see, I have put the value 180 degree up to, and these two IGBTs number 3 and 4 conduct simultaneously. So as soon as the gate signal is removed, the thyristors get turned off. So the gating signal and output waveform I have presented over here. You can see here by running the simulation. This is the output waveform we get across the pure resistive load. So how it comes? Okay, so basically what happens, now we will discuss the working principle. So what happens, guys? The working principle, when the thyristor number 1, IGBT1 and IGBT2 are triggered, okay, are triggered simultaneously. So only two thyristors are turned on in half of the time period of AC cycle. We know the complete cycle of AC is up from 0 degree up to 360 degree. So for first half cycle from 0 degree up to 180 degree, these two thyristors conduct. Okay, so you will notice that thyristors T1 and T2, okay, are triggered simultaneously. These are T1 and T2, these are triggered simultaneously, and the load is connected to source through this purely resistive resistance, and the voltage output comes when the during this period 0 to 180 degree, the voltage output becomes positive, okay, and this is the reason the load voltage is shown positive and equal to Vs in the output voltage. And guys, what happens in the next half cycle, as soon as the gate signal G1 and G2, IG1, the gate signal G1 and G2 are removed, T1 and T2 gets turned off, and however at the same instant gate signal G3, here you can see G3, getting signal G3 and G4 are applied same instant, and hence T3 and T4, IGBT T3 and IGBT T4 are conducting now, they are turned on, and when they are conducting, T3 and T4, load gets connected to the source, and the load voltage magnitude is again Vs, but with reverse polarity. This is the reason the output voltage is shown negative. So guys, basically, and what are the purpose, and basically we get these kind of waveform. So you can see guys from this output waveform, see here, so this is this is 0 axis, okay, this is the 0 point, and then this is the positive half cycle, okay, you can see this is positive square wave, where T1 and T2 both IGBTs are operating. Okay, so here you will get positive output voltage, and then after 180 degree up to 360 degree you will get minus Vs. Okay, see here the voltage magnitude is also there. You can measure from here. Okay, it is shown over here on x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so you can measure each and every parameter. So you can see this is the minus Vs voltage which will appear across the load. So this is the total complete cycle from 0 to 360 degree. So and then the cycle will be repeated from here. So this will be your square waveform at the output. Positive half positive supply for T1 and T2, and this is the negative supply because negative voltage appears for T3 here. T3 and T4 conducts. Then again for next half cycle T1 and T2 conducts, and then for again negative half cycle, during negative half cycle T3 and T4 conducts. So basically this is the output waveform we get. And what are the purpose of diodes from D1 to D4? So if the load is purely resistive, there is no need to put diode D1 and D4, as the output voltage and current are always in phase. And as we have connected purely resistive load. But unfortunately, what happens for the loads other than pure resistance? Here we have connected pure resistance like inductive load. Okay, so what happens? Load current will not be in phase with the load voltage, and for such cases the diode connected in anti-parallel with the thyristor will allow the current to flow when main thyristor is turned off. And when these diode conducts, the energy is fed back to DC source, and hence these diodes are called flyback diode. So this is the reason we have connected 4 diodes. So but here in this case for purely resistive load these are not required. So what happens? This is the output waveform beside this. So another method in this. Okay, so another method, you can construct this circuit by selecting MOSFET. Okay, so you see in this diagram, as you can see on the screen, there are 4 MOSFETs. See here, MOSFET number 1, MOSFET 2, MOSFET 3 and MOSFET 4. Okay, so these are the MOSFETs. 4 MOSFETs or 4 main switches are I have selected, and you can also provide gating pulse through this comparator circuit. Okay, it is provided in the PSIM software. You can see here this is comparator circuit, and by using this comparator you can also provide. And here this is the inversion. You have to convert this NOT gate. Okay, and then so the invert supply, getting signal is provided to here, and this is called on-off controller. So you see PSIM software, you can draw and construct the diagram of single phase full bridge type inverter. So I have already prepared the diagram over here. You can see by using comparator. As you can see here, this is the comparator, and on-off controller is used for getting signal. I have used here 4 MOSFETs. As you can see here, this is MOS 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is also right way for constructing the circuit diagram of full bridge inverter, and you will get the same waveform, same kind of waveform at the output when you choose V load, and you will get the square wave across this purely resistive load. So this is the output waveform across the pure resistive load when you connect the circuit diagram by using comparator and on-off. So guys, this was the simulation video tutorial. Okay, we studied Okay, so this was our simulation video of single phase full bridge inverter. Okay, so now we will move to our next practical, that is, so you see here, this is the next practical. So you can also put the values. Okay, so from that PSIM software simulation you can put all the values. You can calculate average current, okay, voltage is there, frequency, you can calculate frequency, T on time, T off time, okay, each and every parameter you will get from that simulation circuit. Okay, so no problem, I think. Okay, and the result, the single phase bridge inverter has been studied and their responses were plotted. Okay, now see experiment number 10. So guys, now this is again, okay, I am also going to play the hardware kit. You will see. So what is the hardware kit available in the lab? So this is of single phase bridge inverter. You see, this is the hardware kit. I have recorded the video. So see this is IGBT assembly module. So there are 6 modules. You have to select only 4. Okay, so see 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is the hardware kit available in Power Electronics Lab, NIT Raipur. So you can see this is IGBT assembly module, it is called, and then below this you see this is the inverter circuit. Okay, firing angle control. So see here, this is IGBT assembly module, and these are the different cables, wires through which we can connect. Okay, you see here IGBT 1 is there, 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 modules are there, and by selecting the proper cable you have to connect emitter, collector and gate. Okay, see here, this is collector, this is emitter, and this is the gate terminal. Okay, so we will connect as per the circuit diagram, and then see, and then you will see down below this diagram PWM firing control circuit. So this is the square wave generator, which is called PWM firing control circuit for inverter circuit. So here you have to connect the gating block. See here, this is another section, 3-phase supply module is there down below this. And this is single phase power, low voltage power supply section, you will see. Okay, these are digital meter module. So these are the different modules, okay, embedded on a same board, we'll see. Okay, so this was the hardware module available in the lab. Okay, now we will see the next practical, that is cycloconverter. Okay, so to study single phase, this is our aim, to study of single phase cycloconverter. Okay, so apparatus required. Are you able to see the screen right now? Are we connected? Am I audible to all of you? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What happens? It is disconnected and I didn't know. Okay. So basically, what is the meaning of cycloconverter? What is the definition? Means what is the function of cycloconverter? Let me know if you know, any one of you. What is the function of cycloconverter? Why it is used? Okay, so you will see. So see here, apparatus required. What are the apparatus required? High voltage power electronics test bench, resistive load, multimeter, DSO, connecting patch cords. Okay, so basically this is the theory part. So see here, cycloconverter is a device that converts AC power at one frequency into AC power of another adjustable but lower frequency. So this is basically step down at cycloconverter. Step down means the frequency will be step down. it is reduced. Okay, it will be reduced from 50 hertz up to some level 10 hertz, 15 hertz, 25 hertz, like this. Okay, so basically frequency is to be reduced. Okay, so that's why it is called step down cycloconverter, and the main function of this cycloconverter is to change the frequency level from one AC power, okay, and then into AC power of adjustable but lower frequency without any direct current. So cyclic converters convert from single phase or three phase AC to variable magnitude, variable frequency, single phase or three phase AC. So this is the function. And single phase cycloconverter, it also known as step up cycloconverter. Okay, we have simulated step down cycloconverter. Okay, in our simulation you will see step down cycloconverter. So we will see the load is assumed to be resistive for simplicity, and step up cycloconverter require post commutation. The basic principle of step up device is defined as follows. So there are two types, midpoint cycloconverter and bridge type cycloconverter. So here is the diagram of, I think, mid center tap. Okay, midpoint. It is also called midpoint or center tap. So this is the circuit diagram you will see of cycloconverter. This is transformer. This is AC supply connected over here at the left side. This is transformer. Number of turns are there. It is already set. Then this is the X point, this is Y point, and here, okay, P1 and N1, okay, these thyristors are connected in the upper branch, and P2 and N2, these thyristors are connected in the lower branch. So you see P1 and P2 are the positive set of thyristors. Okay, see, these are connected directed from left to right, P1 and P2. These are called two sets of thyristors for positive half supply. Okay, and during negative half supply, N1 and N2 will be operated. Okay, so these are reverse connected in reverse direction. Okay, N1 and N2 are the pair of thyristors, but these are connected in reverse direction. So basically P1 and P2 will be operated during positive half cycle of AC supply. AC supply कहाँ से आएगी? You will get AC supply through this. AC supply is there, then there is a transformer. Okay, and then this is step down transformer, and then you will see P1, P2 positive sets of thyristor, and N1 and N2 negative sets of thyristors. And then this is the resistive load connected through the midpoint. Okay, this is the midpoint or center tapping. Tapping is there at the center of this winding. So through this center tap and in this branch, the midway O and something Q, I think Q is there. So OQ, okay, between, so this resistive load is connected between O and Q. Okay, and this is the hardware module you will see. So this is SCR assembly you will see in the hardware kit. You can select, okay, 4, you have to select 4. Okay, and here it is step down I think. Okay, this is step down. Okay, it is misprinted I think, na. This is not step up cycloconverter, this is step down cycloconverter, because here you see this is the output voltage, P1, P2, P1 are conducting. So this is the frequency, and frequency of AC cycle is there. See here, this is sinusoidal AC waveform, positive half supply, negative half supply, positive half supply, negative half supply. So see here, during positive half supply and negative half supply, okay, P1, P2, P1 are conducting, and then during negative half supply, N1, N2, N1 is conducting. Okay, so see, we will directly go to our simulation and we will watch. Okay, so see here, cycloconverter. First we will see how you will construct the circuit diagram. Okay, this is very simple in PSIM. So here you will see select AC source, then transformer, you will get the transformer windings. Okay, then you have to form center tapping. Select from here, components are there. Okay, you can see these are the components, okay, highlighted here, shown over here. So you can select components from here by just, okay, take from here and drop in the wizard. Okay, pick the component and just drop in the wizard, and then you can construct the circuit as you want. And then through this wire, this is the wire, you can join all the connections. You can complete the circuit likewise. Okay, see, so this is the pen. Okay, so wire pen, you can say this is a wire pen. Through this you can join, you can construct, you can draw the circuit. So see here, this is a transformer winding, center tap, and here it will be center tap. Then choose 4 thyristors. So these are the thyristors, 4 thyristors. 2 will be directed towards left to right, 2 will be in reverse direction, reverse connected. And then this is the center tapping. Okay, this is center tap, and through this point from here to here we connected resistive load. Okay, then see, this is comparator, we are providing gating signals. So I have selected here comparators in order to provide gating signal. So here we will put the frequency. So these are basically square wave generators. You will see these are basically square wave generators. Okay, and then this is called comparator. And then we will connect the output point of this comparator to the gating block, to the gating signal of thyristor. So see how it is going to be connected. Okay, then we have selected on-off controller, and then this is connected to the thyristor, this one, the gating terminal of this thyristor. And then see, for another positive group thyristor, this is P1, this is P2. Okay, so P2, the gate terminal of P2 is again connected to the same output, you see. So same output of gating pulse will be provided to the P1's gating terminal and P2's gating terminal. Okay, and these are connected through on-off controller. This is called on-off controller. Then just copy paste. Okay, this is the first set of gating supply we have provided to the P1 and P2 gate terminals. Okay, this is P1, this is P2, this is the gate terminal. So through on-off controller we have provided gate supply through this comparator circuit. Okay, and then just copy paste, and then by inverting the supply, just provide the output of this comparator to the gating blocks, to the gating terminals of negative sets of thyristors. Okay, now see, okay, the gating terminal of N1 and N2, because these are reverse connected. So from here you can see the output of this comparator is now going to be connected to the gating block of this N1 and N2 thyristors through on-off controller. And then see here, for N2 the same supply we will connect. This is common point. and then we will put the value of frequency, we will set. Okay, so we are actually constructing a step down cycloconverter. Now we are connecting voltage probes. You see here we have selected voltage probes. This will show the waveform. Okay, you will see this will show, so at output voltage will be shown. Okay, then see how we are going to input the values. Okay, just see. Okay, so just double click the left one and put frequency. How much frequency? 100 hertz. Duty cycle 0.5. Okay, I have selected 0.5 and frequency 100 hertz. Okay, so this is square wave generator voltage 1 and this is second voltage. So here you have to put how much frequency? 2. It is going to be put 25 hertz. Then rename it. You can rename it this, and then see for the down below. And then left one. Okay, here also the same. I think it will be same. 100 hertz for the left one and 25 hertz for the right one. Okay, left one will have 100 hertz frequency and for the right one we will select 25 hertz and the AC frequency is 50 hertz. Then again see, for the right one we are putting 100 hertz, 25 hertz. Duty cycle is same 0.5 and phase delay. Always remember there will be a phase delay of 180 degree for this set of comparator. Okay, there will be a phase delay of 180 degree. So this will control positive sets of thyristors getting signal, and this will control the negative sets of thyristors gate signal. This is important. And the supply frequency is, see here, what is the supply frequency? 220 volt is the peak amplitude. You can change it, and frequency is 50 hertz. AC supply frequency is 50 hertz. So see, you can rename it. Okay, so we have put 25 hertz over here, and then this is constructed the step down cycloconverter, and then put voltage probe to measure the waveform, and then see. Now almost we have completed the circuit. You can also rename it load resistance, R load, and check this box so that it will appear over here and the value will be appeared over here. You can make it appear by checking the box in, and then run the simulation for how much time? 0.1 second, and then go to simulate section, simulation. Okay, then you can see the square wave generators waveform first. See, this is the square wave generators waveform which are going to be provided at the gating block. So this one is of 100 hertz and this one is of 25 hertz. This one is of 100 hertz and this is 25 hertz. And then you will see there is a difference, there will be a difference, 180 degree difference when you will select the waveform of this. Okay, so this will the output of this comparator, the upper one. okay, will be provided, this will be like this. Okay, see here, will be like this. This is the output waveform. And then see the input, the output of the lower one comparators. Now we are selecting the lower one comparator waveform. So here you will see 2 will be there. Okay, 2. Okay, 1 is there. 1 SQA, capital A is there. Okay, capital A. So you can rename, and then you will see there will be. So you will see there will be 180-degree difference. Okay, so this is the output waveform of comparator second, and this is the output waveform of comparator first. So this is provided to the positive sets of thyristor, and this is provided to negative sets of thyristors. Okay, so we have just completed the construction diagram, and then you will see the output waveform. You can see the output waveform. So run the simulation, go to the simulation section, and then see, this is AC supply. Okay, this is the AC supply you will see of 50 Hertz frequency, and then this is the output waveform you will get. Okay, see, this is the output waveform. Okay, see, during positive half cycle, okay, there is a supply. Okay, see here, there is a half supply, and during negative half cycle there is another half supply of positive supply, positive sequence. Okay, see here, so frequency is going to be reduced here. ठीक है ना, during positive half cycle of AC supply there is another positive half supply at the output, and during negative half supply of AC input signal there is another positive half supply of output signal. So you will see this is step down cycloconverter. And then I see this video, cycloconverter, where at different frequencies, at different frequencies I have, there is a video, you can go through the link. Okay, the link is there in the YouTube. The link is there, you can go through the link in order to understand, in order to study the circuit behavior. You can see, okay, all the videos are there if you want to go there. Then see, this is the video I have put the cycloconverter circuit at different frequencies. See, step down cycloconverter midpoint, it's called step down midpoint cycloconverter. Okay, so see, you will see the output waveform at different frequencies. So first see here, AC input 50 Hertz, AC input is 50 Hertz, you will see. Then see here, the left one is 100 Hertz. You can make them appear. Okay, so just click this box, check box. Then at right one, 25 Hertz. Also check this box in. Then it will appear over here, you see. And then for the lower one comparator, 100 Hertz and 25 Hertz. 25 Hertz. And then you will see the output waveform. So this is the AC input signal waveform. And then see V load. Okay, so here output frequency is half. Okay, so you can see from here output frequency is half, means the AC input cycle is having frequency of 50 Hertz. यहाँ पर 50 Hertz frequency है ऊपर वाले cycle की. Okay, as you can see, this is AC waveform, and the output frequency is having half, means 25 hertz. It has become 25 hertz. Okay, so see what is the shape of waveform. This one is the shape of V1. So what is happening? P1 and P2 are conducting during this positive half cycle. See here, this is the positive half cycle of AC input supply. So P1 and P2 are conducting, and then during negative half supply, see this is the negative half supply. So during negative half supply, N1 and N2 are conducting. Okay, so see here, so frequencies got reduced, and then change the value. You can change the value. Now put 100 hertz. Okay, of AC input frequency we have changed from 50 to 100, and then change here, make this 200. I think this will be 200. Yes, 200. Now this has become 200 hertz, and then here also you have to change 200 hertz. 200. I think right one will be the same. Okay, 25. Okay, we will see what is the right one. 25, yeah, 200 and 25, whether it is same. 25, yes. So 225, 225, and AC input 100 hertz. Now you see what is the wave shape of waveform. So this is the AC input signal, and then see the output waveform across the load. So you will see it is 1/4. It has got 1/4 of the input frequency. See, so output frequency becomes 1/4 of the input frequency, because there are 4 half cycles during. Okay, so you can change, and then you can also change from 100 to, what is the value, 200. Now we are, I think it will be now 1/6 or 1/8. We will see. Now in place of 200, now it is 400. Here also put 400 hertz. 400. Okay, then see what is the waveform. Now the AC input frequency has become 200. Okay, now see the waveform. Run the simulation. So this is AC input signal, and then see the output waveform across load. Okay, so it has become, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1/8. Yes, 1/8. Output frequency becomes 1/8. Okay, so you can clearly see from here, during this is first half cycle. Okay, you can see the simulation. Okay, by zooming in on it. Okay, by zooming in on it, you can simulate, you can measure. Okay, you can observe, you can do analysis. So guys, this was the working principle, analysis, simulation of cycloconverter, step down cycloconverter. Okay, so you can go through the link. If you missed due to any disturbance or due to poor network, you can go through the link.